guys, so design a fairy house and we'll tell you what mythical creature will you mostly like. It's magic. Well, okay, first of all, who will live in your fairy house? Fairies, duh. What would your fairy house look like? Love this. Interior? Yep. Kitchen? Yep. Bedroom? Oh, that was a good one. Extra feature? We go with the library. What would your fairy house would be? Well, anyways, enchanted forest. It's got Leviathan. Leviathans love water. They are solitary creatures who prefer to swim in the deep alone, but young ones will stick with their mothers. They rely on instinct instead of influences and will be happy to come up to eat a boat every once in a while.
Cartoons.
Hello, welcome back to our Let's Be Pokemon Types, because this is gonna be the last Pokemon type, because today is Fairies. Blissey, you know what they say, having a very long time. Don't you ever see that, you know? Because actually, no, it's all about fairies, though. But I'm not a fairy, I'm a cat. What? Are you getting serious or what? No. Then prove it. So, let's watch the history of fairies.
Fairies, sometimes spelled fairies if you're into that, are part of a long tradition in mythology from cultures all over the world. They often represent an intermediary race, mystical creatures living in a supernatural existence,
I don't
but
know
parallel
what
to
this
us in many
is,
ways,
but I'm still making a
the
wish
realms
come
of human
true.
and angels. Early incarnations
Ooh,
were sometimes
my.
evil. The
Seems a
Egyptians
little
thought of
bit
them as
evil-ish,
demons,
you know.
while in ancient Greece and Rome, genii were spirits who brought ill omens when they revealed themselves to humans. But today we are going to focus
this is going to be the
mainly on
big
prolific
finale
and havoc-raising
of the
fairies
Let's Be
throughout Ireland
Pokemon
and the United
types.
Kingdom.
Feeling a legend, no? Ireland and England.
In J.S. Forsyth's seminal 1827 text, Demonologia, or Natural Knowledge Revealed, being an expose of ancient and modern superstitions, he claims that there is a long lineage throughout all of Europe that contributed in some way to the concept of fairies. But the most direct origin might date back to mythology.
Did you ever see the upcoming Halloween Toono 3 that filled with alpha beasts wearing Halloween costumes? But anyways, I knew about these new costumes for the alpha beasts. But anyways, let's hear is super monsters. But now, with alpha beasts doing the power.
Describes in most northern countries of Europe, there were few families that were without a shrewd or knavish sprite. Depending on how a family treated the fae in their life,
do I ever
lives
send
could be
pixie
made
dust
easier
away?
or much, much harder.
Of course it does.
For centuries, there's
You're
been a
going to
duality
need to wash
fairies.
it up.
They were evil when it suited human needs to explain bad luck, But if outcomes were favorable, the creatures were precious protectors. One proverbial blessing in England even said, "Grant that the sweet fairies may nightly put money in your shoes and sweep your house clean." Their lore was frequently manipulated to serve human intention. For example, in the case of witchcraft, communing with fairies was the same as communing with demons, a crime that could cause a witch to be burned at the stake. In other cases, if a woman reported seeing fairies, she might be diagnosed with hysteria, causing ecstatic illusions. The Irish Celtic Gaelic traditions of the Little People continue to be one of the most pervasive, celebrated, and long-lasting histories in fairy lore.
Long live the history,
Irish fairies were
but you're going to need to
sheep.
miss it.
They were also sometimes referred to as Fairies, which was thought to be derived from the Persian word piri, one of the earliest known examples of fairies. The Piri's influence on European folklore traces back to the Crusades of the 11th century. Christian holy wars fought in Palestine and the Middle East to usurp Islamic rule in the region.
Don't you see that, Clefairy? Everything knows when you're a little bit different. But anyways, that Halloween Toono 3 for the reaction time, that is coming out on October 2022. But listen to me, because we are not talking about 12 videos then. But anyways, we are talking about 13, one of those outfit beasts when you're coming out.
This may also speak to the Christianization of pagan mythology, an evolutionary synthesis
I know,
of the belief
Clefairy,
system.
but listen, number
Others believe
13 means
that fairies were the
unlucky.
spirits of the Tua de Danann, a mysterious early Irish race that was partially divine. The Sidhe lived in Tir
Chansey?
a place where there was no disease,
Bless,
where everyone was
bless,
perpetually
bless.
young, and everything around them was created for joy and beauty. Death can only come to the Sidhe on Judgment Day. In
Well,
their natural state,
that's
the
not
Sidhe
a
were similar to
fairy,
humans,
it's a
but
normal
known for their
type.
preternatural beauty,
Blissey.
with delicate, lithe bodies and corn-colored blonde hair that was so long it could touch the ground. They sometimes wore diaphanous robes of silver fabric. However, with their magic, the Sidhe had the power to take any form, conceal themselves completely, and could even make their own horses using scraps of straw. Their diet included milk and honey served in gold vessels, as well as the nectar of flowers they
Well,
could drink directly
seems a little bit
from,
okay,
like cups.
though. But you're
There
going
were
to need
said to be
this,
even
no?
more fairies than humans on Earth, and they were ruled by numerous chiefs who distinguished themselves by
Well,
wearing a ring
you're
of
going
gold
to
called a
think
circlet
things out.
around their head.
Right?
Their homes were built underground, often beneath lakes, Norman ruins, or in the core of a hill. But inside, they were deceptively luxurious palaces made out of diamonds, pearls, silver, and gold. The Sidhe hoarded their many treasures in their homes, some of which they took from shipwrecks or from thieves who had to bury their loot. They didn't really need to steal wealth from humans, though. The gold and jewels that lived in the rocks all belonged to the fairies anyway. There was nearly always music and dancing in their palace halls, and under special circumstances, a human might be blessed with the opportunity to see them dancing on the hillsides. There were several ways a human might see the Sidhe, one of which was to walk 9 times around a fairy ring, which scholars believe are actually the ancient remains of circularly shaped settlements called Ra. After 9 times around the fairy ring, the human interloper may see the entrance and possibly even enter. But if they did, they might be trapped forever, either by eating the fairy food and wine, or by becoming so enamored by their beauty while watching them dance and sing, they go mad for a fairy kiss and can never leave.
Better.
While some might be adventurous enough to go looking for them, on the whole, the Irish dreaded the fairies' wrath so much they would not build on their land nor say fairies out loud for fear of angering them, instead referring to them as the good people or the little people. While the Sidhe had no religion, they did seem to fear some aspects of Catholicism.
Hey,
According to
are you
legend, when they
burning
fell from
stuff,
heaven,
you know?
some were taken to hell by demons, where they gained the power to set evil
Well,
spirits
there's
on
less
humans.
to be trying
To
out.
this effect, they had powers over unbaptized children and could make them grow up to be evil or harbingers of bad luck.
4,
The
3.
fairies could send evil spirits in the form of
Now back to
beautiful women,
us.
charming men with their song and dance, to the point that they would commit heinous crimes for them. When their souls were black with the sins they had committed for the evil spirit, they would be taken to hell to serve and be tortured by the demons who lived there for eternity. Despite the beauty, youth, and luxurious leisure of their existence, the She were said to be inherently sad as well.
Well,
they remembered
still
that
got
they
the
had been cast
sadness,
from
though.
heaven and could never return. In this, humans had an advantage. Upon their death, they could go to heaven and live there for the rest of eternity. Belief in the She is so deeply ingrained and pervasive in Irish culture, it has been called a national and ethnic inheritance. West Ireland is considered a particularly superstitious region of the country, where
That's
She
green?
activity is
That has a pink on a washing
Fairy
machine?
lore became especially important
That's
in the
good.
1900s.
I mean,
during the
that's
Celtic
really good, you
Revival,
know?
when their mythology became representative of Irish traditions being celebrated and reclaimed out of political necessity. William Butler Yeats was said to speak with She in his sleep, and Samuel Beckett, though known for being pragmatic, claimed he communed with a fairy in the front square of Trinity College. Douglas Hyde, the first president of Ireland, saw a strange horse run around a 7-acre field and change into a woman.
Click, 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 click.
England had many of the same influences in fairy culture. Early Norse mythology mirrored their own conceptions of malevolent dwarves, or Duergar, while the Fairies led to more good-natured interpretations in British lore as well.
This is good stuff,
Areas of Cornwall, Wales, the Isle of Man, and the Scottish Highlands all maintained rich Celtic traditions
we're running out of time.
lore around England.
Oh man, my poor
Scotland in
thing.
particular had a rich history
didn't
with
need
druids
to.
who also lived in underground homes topped by large artificial mounds, which were inherently tied with fairies. Sometimes referred to as little folk, fairies found a home in classic English literature, such as Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, and later in works by William Shakespeare, like A Midsummer's Night Dream. In Demonologia, J.S. Forsyth wrote of the contemporary conception of fairies in the 1800s at the time as people of small stature, gaily dressed in habiliments of green. They took great pleasure in sensual experiences, such as eating delicious foods and making intoxicating music.
Like what?
Outside of magic and mischief, they could take down an enemy with their fatal elf arrows.
Nothing.
Sometimes they would
But
disrupt
even
the human world by
Dynamite
taking a
has to
human
come.
and replacing it with one of their own kind.
So you're
Often
gonna
when they were
miss
just
me,
babies.
enemy.
These unlucky souls were called
I
changelings,
can't
and they had a
do
reputation for
this.
dying young. At the time, they blamed this fairy-fated condition to explain certain mental or physical diseases or disabilities. There were also a wide range of fairies and their mystic counterparts by this point, including pixies, pygmies, sylphs, air spirits, salamanders, fire spirits, gnomes, goblins, earth spirits, undines, water spirits. These elemental spirits were thought to be everywhere, but their bodies were invisible. At the time, fairies were an accepted part of Christian mythology as well. Some believed fairies were the spirits of
you
those
know
who
what?
could not
Let's
be
play
placed in
video
either
games
heaven or
is
hell,
right
or
after
that
the
the souls of
finale of
unbaptized
Let's Be
children became
Pokemon
fairies.
Types.
One
Then you'll see about
Protestant
that because
minister even
these
theorized
20
that,
videos
like
are
Christ, fairies
for
have the ability to become invisible,
the video
as
game
Jesus
stuff.
had during the Ascension and Transfiguration. By the mid-1800s, belief in fairies
Did
was
you
so
mean
common in
that
England,
Game
it
Choice
was
is
not just
cancelled?
superstition
But
for rural
no, you're gonna
communities
change
or
it to
mystics.
Let's
The
Play
lore was
Video
also
Games
accepted by
instead
artists, writers,
of the Gamer's
scientists,
Choice.
historians, and theologians.
Well, sorry
The
fellas,
nation's
but
obsession
I-
with the little folk hit a critical mass in the 1790s.
hey, you got fairies with
their
wings?
portrayals in romantic
Wait,
art,
that sort of looked like a
featuring in fairy
butterfly to
poetry
you.
by Coleridge,
Who are you
Keats,
calling
and Percy
that?
Shelley. At the time, there was a nostalgia building for
Hey,
the innocence
you see
and
that?
wildness of nature,
I'm Tinkerbell.
including pastoral, fey folk.
Oh,
as the
Tinkerbell.
country was
But
industrializing at a rapid
how's-
rate.
How's very
This,
particular
some
anyway?
even believed that the fairies
Well,
were leaving England
I sure I
because
can.
of rapid urbanization, which
Well,
was bad for
good
the little
things and good
folks'
things.
physical and mental wellness.
Ooh, really?
Within the next few decades, fairies would become even more popular in the Victorian imagination and investigative spirit. Using new science, technology, and concepts from the Enlightenment, investigators attempted
Hey,
to
what's the
prove or
techno-
disprove the existence
No
of
buts
fairies.
anyway.
They would study
Oh.
physical phenomena like elf shots and fairy boats,
didn't mean
which were
to,
later
but
analyzed to be prehistoric
I have
flint
no
shards
idea
and
what
arrow
their
tips,
choices
as
are,
well as fairy
but
rings, thought to be
very
created by the
reachable.
footsteps of fairies and later found to be caused by a fungus. They
Mushrooms, I
studied
think?
prehistoric monuments like the standing stones
You're going
at
to need
Rollright
this,
and
Elsie.
Stonehenge for
But I
clues of
can't.
fairies or elves.
You're going to need to
Some
turn
creatively
all the
tried
lights.
to use Darwin's
You
theory of
get it?
natural selection to prove
Yup.
that fairies were biological
Everything's a
creatures
good
that
thing's a
evolved
good
on a
heart.
separate branch than humans.
I think I
A
can.
imaginatively putting them along the same genealogical line as butterflies. There is even an enameled glass vase reportedly made by fairies, sitting in the Victoria and Albert Museum, built in 1852 and named for the Queen who defined the era. Many Fae investigators would join the Folklore Society, which was led by the prolific anthropological folklorist Edwin Sidney Hartland. Surprisingly, and yet unsurprisingly, there was a political motive to promote England's fairies. They had to compete with the popular fairy tales coming out of France and Germany at the time, including the much-admired research of the Brothers Grimm. Perhaps it is not well known that the Brothers Grimm did, in fact, turn the quest to categorize fairies and other legendary characters into a science by bringing linguistic analysis, categorization, and systematization into their investigation.
Got any ideas of this?
And because of the vastness of the British Empire, legends of fairies from indigenous peoples as far away as Australia and New Zealand eventually entered lore in the UK. For example, the Maori people had legends of the Patukai who lived
never heard of
in the
this one
wilderness
either.
so as to avoid the sun, living in houses made of rolling mists. Some have also argued that legends of Maori fairies became colonized somewhere along the way, because the way these creatures looked, with fair skin, reddish hair, and no tattoos, seemed rather close to a British imperialist. With fairies all over the world, we barely scratched the surface of their history. So if there's any Fae mythology you want to see next, leave it in the comments.
But you're missing out. Well, that's all, folks, for the Let's Be Pokemon Types. And guess what? Let's Play Video Games is now on. So, bye-bye, and have a great day. All 18 Pokemon types is popularly finished.
Thanks for watching.